We are back. New York City Baseball, past, present, future. I'm Ralph Tyko with the Comfortably Zoned Radio Network, and the co-hosts of the show are Marty Rose and Robert.
Hello there.
Hey, how are you guys?
Very good, very good.
Not too bad.
Good. Robert.
Yes.
You're doing all right, huh?
Yeah, a little tired today.
I wonder why.
Up all night watching a little baseball. This is the day after an 18-inning Sunday night game. I'm listening to, I fell asleep in the 13th inning, and so I could imagine you guys, I'm on the West Coast. Did you stay up for the whole game, Robert?
No, I couldn't. I finally fell asleep, I think, somewhere around the 14th.
Yeah. Chapman had a hiccup, and as Marty says, that's par for the course, you know.
Nobody's perfect, yes.
No one is. We're all human, and he less than many. He's been terrific for them for the last 2.5 years, actually. Or was it a year and a half? Plus, he brought them so many prospects. He and Miller both. That was a coup. And it turns out now that I must admit it, Marty will too. The Yankees have regained top of the hill in New York. And well deservedly so.
Very, very quickly, also.
I know.
Very.
I know. And, you know, I'll tell you, with what pitching is, what a commodity it is, to see the Yankees exhibit patience with guys like Pineda and have it come to fruition, it's really nice. Nice for the organization, good for baseball. As far as the Mets side is concerned, Marty, this has been like 50-some-odd years of absolutely shake our heads at the way things are done on a regular basis. No matter what administration it is, something always makes us shake our head. Can you help and break down the Harvey situation? Suspended for 3 games, right in the middle of kind of a nice streak that they were going through, coming back. Reyes getting his legs a little bit. Conforto continuing to be clutch and solid. And all of a sudden, we wake up and who's starting instead of Harvey? A kid named Will, who's a journeyman minor leaguer, and it seems to me
0-4.
Yeah.
0-4 in his career. So, well, what happened? I could tell you, basically what happened. First of all, the suspension was based on a compilation of different things that have gone on over the last couple of years. And I don't know if it's attitudinal or what, but the powers that be at the Mets have basically had enough of his nonsense. And what happened yesterday, there was a lot of, this was Saturday now. There's a lot of speculation in the beginning. Everybody's coming up with ridiculous things that could have happened until what really happened came out. Now, apparently, he was playing golf early on Saturday, and he came down with a migraine. And he went home, and apparently there was some kind of miscommunication. I don't know whether, he claims that he notified somebody or whatever. But in any case, he didn't show up at the ballpark, and the team claims that they had not heard from him. They sent people to his apartment to see if he was okay. So now So basically, he didn't show up for work that day, is what it amounted to. And they claim, well, he says there was a miscommunication, and that's all that's been said, and you don't hear any exactly, what really happened. So in any case, that's what, that's what I heard. That was, the final,
that was the straw that broke.
Exactly, yeah. So they just had enough. Yeah, they had enough. They suspended him, cost him 3 days pay, $89,000. I guess if you break it down by 162 games, I guess, cost him $89,000 for 3 games. It's insane. But
that is insane.
Yeah. But in any case, so yeah,
Mantle and Mays making 100. And just 3 days work.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But in any case, he's not pitching till Friday in Milwaukee because they want him to have a bullpen session. Plus, they don't want him to get the shit boot out of him on Wednesday, at home. So he's going to start in Milwaukee on Friday. So that's the Harvey story.
I wish they would have had a more adequate replacement at hand. They're hurt because their AAA team is on the West Coast, and they play on the East Coast. And
I don't understand why. Now, what's Oakland's AAA team? Do you know?
Oakland is
it Nashville? Is it Nashville?
I blanked because they were in Sacramento, and
well,
now the Giants are in Sacramento.
I think it's Nashville because I think I looked it up a while ago. So, when I saw that, I said, that's crazy. Why are they in Nashville and the Mets are in Las Vegas? Why don't they trade teams? It just doesn't make any sense, honestly.
Right. Yes. Baseball, as always, with their scheduling early games in the Northeast in the early part of the season, year after year after year, and when it's cold, that I don't understand.
And it seems to be getting worse if you believe in climate change. The springs are colder and the fall is warmer. That's been going on for a while, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. So that went bad for the Mets. We'll talk about some of the good things that happened. Robert.
Yes.
Tell me your Yankee week and if it made you happy.
It did. The starters in the last 5 games, all but CeCe didn't go 6 innings at least. I mean, their starting pitching has looked good this past week.
Absolutely.
And of course they're hitting the ball well too.
Right, and they've got 4 out. They are really making good use of 4 solid outfielders.
Yeah,
and
Hicks is
Holiday
incredible.
was in the field the other day.
Yeah, he's playing first base tonight too.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Bird's just not hitting.
No, and he's on the DL right now, but get him some time off, let him heal up, just get away from the game a little bit. Yeah.
I haven't looked. Carter, has he helped them at all?
He's batting .202. He's had some big hits, but not really.
Okay.
I think you need to play him every day to get some production out of him.
Right. And that's why it was a strange sign, the way I looked at it. But and Sanchez is close. Finally,
he had a 2-run single tonight, so he looks like he's starting to come around.
Good. Nice. If the Mets can't be winning, I'm finally at a point in my life where I've accepted the fact that I'm a native New Yorker. I worshipped the players when I was a kid. I respected them. I hated the team as a kid. I just couldn't remember, Mert, how it was rooting. It was like rooting for IBM, they used to say.
Yeah. U.S. Steel, whatever, yeah.
I still remember the look on your face in the schoolyard in 1960 when the Yankees acquired Bud Daly from Kansas City for virtually nothing. Whatever it was. Bud Daly, although he didn't really help the Yankees that much, was a terrific pitcher with Kansas City, probably the best pitcher they had, and as good as anybody in the American League, or not anybody, but a good solid pitcher. And what with their riches, year after year, buy this, buy that, they just acquired. I don't think Maris came till Maris came in 60 as well, as a matter of fact.
He came to Kansas City also. Kansas City was said to be their minor league affiliate. It was a major league team, but they like they owned them or something. It's ridiculous.
And in a way, they did. Arnold Johnson was the owner of Kansas City, and I can't give you the particulars, but it was back in the days when the owners of the Yankees, Del Webb and Topping, basically ran the American League, and the owners and O'Malley basically ran the National League. And when George Johnson might have been a minority owner or this, that, and the other thing, but he was indebted to the Yankees in some way, and they kept him afloat financially, and they were like a farm system, and so we hated them for those reasons, but we respected them. What an incredible dynasty they were. Two dynasties in our lifetime, Robert. The early years when we were really young, it was the 5 in a row from 1949 to 1953. 5 World Series in a row. Last team to do that. Oakland had a little mini dynasty going when they won 5 divisions in a row and mixed in 3 championships in a row. But it wasn't like 5 in a row. And, it was just, they were terrific. And what I admire most, and when we had Marty Rose, who wrote the book on Casey, both of us mentioned how he basically managed 2 separate teams because there was a total transition from DiMaggio to Mantle, and all the way down the line, guys were turning over. Rizzuto and Martin were turning over for Kubek and Richardson in the second dynasty, and of course Maris for Bauer and all the way down the line. I have a question for you guys. Who was the better of the two defensively, Clete Boyer or Nettles? You saw more of Nettles than I did, Marty. Was he comparable?
They were both terrific. He was comparable, definitely.
He was comparable to Clete.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, he was very good. But, if I had to pick, I'd have to go with Clete Boyer. But Nettles was right there. Very good. Yeah, no question.
Okay.
He was.
What did you remember those early years? You're younger than us, of course, Robert. Did you remember the Reggie Jackson years and all that? Well, you're just a kid.
I was just a kid, But
Okay.
my dad goes on about Nettles and Bauer. He huge fan of both of them.
Yeah. Okay. Good. What's up for this week with the Yankees? What do they have coming up? Who are they playing? And what's going on?
Well, they got Cincinnati right now. I'm not sure offhand who they're playing next. I haven't had a chance to check out their schedule.
I think they have Houston. They come home.
Houston? Oh,
they come home for Houston. That should be very good. Yeah.
Yeah. Houston.
Yeah, they pushed Tyko back.
Week.
They pushed Tyko back from Wednesday to Thursday, so he faced the Yankees. They got a 4-game series with Houston. Tyko was supposed to pitch Wednesday, but he owns the Yankees basically over the last couple of years.
Yeah, and he's 5-0 this year, right?
I don't know. Maybe he could very well be. He's really good.
Yeah. I just pulled it up. Yeah,
having a great year.
Yeah, 5-0.
We know that the Mets are playing the Giants, and I expressed this off air to Marty. I said, if they don't do really well in this series, and they don't have to sweep, but they have to be competitive, and they should win 2 out of 3 against a reeling Giant team. Giants lost, swept in Cincinnati 34 runs to 5 runs. Which I think it's their worst beating, and to top it off, the bus breaks down going to the airport. And I understand Bumgarner, who is really great. He's got a curveball that's incredible. And he made a stupid mistake. He was dirt bike riding and fell off and got hurt and copped to it. Not like Jeff Kent, who had a motorcycle accident and never did admit to it. And so, respect the guy, but at one time earlier in the year or late last year, their bus broke down and Bumgarner gets out and fixes whatever the problem was. It's just he knew how to tune up the bus or fix the wire or do anything. He was mechanical. Bumgarner wasn't with him, so that put a little salt, rubbed a little salt into it. All right, I want to ask you guys about baseball movies. Your favorite baseball movies?
Oh boy!
I want to start with you, Marty, because it's age before beauty.
Well, there's there was a lot of cute ones, in the old days. Like It Happens Every Spring. Do you remember that one?
I do.
You remember that one?
Yeah.
That was a cute
on
movie.
$1 million movie.
Yeah, like 8 times a week. Something like that.
Right.
On Channel 9.
Right.
Yeah.
I was talking about a movie that you and I saw with Peter Golenbach, as a matter of fact, the other night or last week. We were talking baseball movies, and it was a movie that you and I saw at the Boulevard Theater after the Roger Maris, Mickey Mantle year in 1961.
Really?
Do you remember that it had Bud Farley? Not Bud Farley. The guy from the Lucy Show. He played Fred Mertz. He was the manager. And Mickey Mantle and Roger Maris, and I think Doris Day was in it.
Really?
Some kid. Do you remember? You don't remember going to that movie at the Boulevard?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
That was a cute movie, but I'll tell you
more recently, though. Yeah, go ahead.
I'll tell you my favorite was Major League. I love Major League. It had two or three different storyline. It had a romantic interest, and it had such a basic truism of how owners are and how it's a business, and it was very cute. I thought it was very well done.
Yeah, well, I like Field of Dreams and The Natural.
Yeah.
Those two I like a lot. Saw them like a million times.
Robert,
more
your
recently.
favorites? Anything?
Yeah, Bull Durham. Bull Durham and Field of Dreams are my top two. In fact, I just watched Bull Durham this past week. I also, for some reason too, I get a kick out of A League of Their Own.
Yes. Yes. With the
Tom Hanks.
And there's Rosie O'Donnell is in that movie.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys watch Curb Your Enthusiasm at all.
I've watched a lot of those episodes.
Yeah. Rosie plays a good part in that. They have a good thing going, and I learned something that very interesting, that on Larry David, who puts that show together, also created Seinfeld, and Larry David, he played the voice of Steinbrenner. You see this guy from...
Right, you never see his face, yeah.
Never see his face, but it was Larry David's voice. It was his only acting appearance on Seinfeld. He never played any cameo roles or anything. So I thought that was pretty interesting, and I thought that was very well done. That whole thing with George working for George.
Yes, that was funny.
Very funny stuff. Can't be topped, though, if you want to talk about baseball and the arts, The Odd Couple. You remember The Odd Couple when
Jack Klugman was the sports writer?
The double play or the triple play? And one of those episodes, Felix calls what's his name? And he bothers him in the middle of the game. He turns away, and in the background, Ken Boyer hits in, then Ahmet. They hits into a triple play. And so sometimes baseball and the arts come together.
Yeah.
I talked earlier, I'm just babbling, having fun talking ball with you guys tonight. Talked earlier, Mert, about how before the Harvey suspension and before they were forced into using Wilk and this, that, and the other thing, they really were showing some sparks of playing better ball.
They won 2 out of 3 straight series.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, which to me, that's turning it around, because you're not going to do it. You're not going to win 10 games in 5 days. So you just keep winning 2 out of 3. It's chipping away a little bit, and they were showing good signs. Darno gets hurt.
Yeah. What else is new? Yeah.
He seemed to be coming back, just like
he was hitting well. You know, he has already more guys this year than he had all of last year. Darno?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think he had 15 RBIs.
That's how much he stunk last year. Yeah.
Yeah. When he played, and he gets hurt
when he played.
an awful lot.
All the time.
Then they had another instance where they were embarrassed. Somebody was taking some pictures, and they had some sex toy in somebody's locker, and that gets out in the press, and that makes them look even stupider this week.
Yeah.
I just thought of that.
Somebody speculated that Harvey put it there, and that that's what the suspension was about. But that was not true. You know, when nobody knew anything and they was trying to dream things up about what happened, somebody came up with that idea, but that wasn't true. It had nothing to do.
Why didn't they, when they suspended him, why didn't they be transparent and come out and say this is why we suspended him? Would have it not been better for a public relations thing and let it die?
All they said was team rules. He didn't follow team rules, and that's all they would say. They didn't say what it was, so everybody had to speculate. He was in Ottawa watching a hockey game, and he couldn't fly back in time. I mean, how ridiculous is this stuff? Come on.
Right.
So, gee whiz. So, yeah, they would have been better off coming clean right from the start instead of having everybody come up with these crazy ideas about what happened.
Right.
Totally
Which just keeps
nuts.
it in the press and keeps it going, and it just can't be good for the team's morale.
No. Not at all.
So, I don't know. They seem to handle the little things poorly. But on a positive side, Ray is coming back. Struble, his MRI looks good. He's a day or so away, maybe. You said they brought in Cecchini. Was that just for insurance, just in case?
I think so, because they didn't activate him because Cabrera's MRI came back clean. So I don't know what he's going to do. He's here, but he's not activated. So I have no idea if they're going to activate him or not. I don't know what other roster moves they can make.
They may do it at game time because they already deactivated Wilk. Am I correct?
I think so, but that guy.
Not coming back. If Harvey's not coming back till Friday.
Yeah.
They give you an extra guy on the bench.
Well, unless they want to activate Malone to pitch, this guy they just picked up off waivers. I don't know if they're going to do that, or if they don't do that, then they got to throw Montero out there, and then they might have a spot for Cecchini. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Robert, anything you want to talk about?
Well, as well as the Yankees have been playing, Baltimore is right on there. I mean, they're only half game behind the Yankees. They're playing just as well. It's just Yankees need their starting pitching to hold up this year. The only thing I'm really concerned about going forward is the health of their starters.
You mentioned Baltimore. The manager is Showalter.
Yeah.
I wasn't in New York at the time. Tell me what kind of a manager was he? What were his strengths? Why he didn't succeed with the Yankees?
I'm not too sure. I liked Showalter when he was the manager. That was back in '95. Was his last year. I think I was 15 or 16 at the time. But I don't really remember why he was pushed out, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, well, they lost that playoff series.
Yeah.
And I think some of the complaints against him were he was one of these guys where he had his hands in everything, every single thing. And I don't think that went over well with other guys trying to do their job in the organization, If he would just
he wanted to be involved in who was being called up and this thing.
Yeah, he was trying to, be everything, do everybody's job, like be the traveling secretary and the general manager and the bus driver. They just, I think he was too hands-on, and that was the beef against him for the most part.
Okay.
I remember
he knows.
I remember
he knows
there
his
being
stuff.
With Mattingly about him cutting his hair and shaving. I remember that being a big deal.
Shaving the mustache. Why would you do that? In 2008, whatever the hell it is.
They're still doing it today.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're still doing it today, Ralph. They did it to this
I know.
Fraser kid. Yeah.
And they're not the only team, and they're doing stuff like that. And I know Arizona's very famous for stuff like that. But what good is San Diego? Is it? I just don't understand why the control and why owners think that that's going to make a difference. If you can go back to the A's with the mustaches in the 70s and this, that, and the other thing, and here they are winning that little mini dynasty. It's just craziness. I mean, is it the employer-employee relationship where the employer just has to show it's my way, or I'll throw this.
Well, it is the Yankee way. Let's face it. The Yankees have always been that way, and I think the Yankees could be the only team that just has two uniforms. That's the Yankee way. They got their home uniform and their road uniform. That's it. Some teams have like 9 or 10 different things with the different color tops and the different color pants.
Mets included. The Mets included. Not as bad as it used to be.
No. But the Yankees are so traditional. I mean, it's like working for a bank or working for an arts company. You know, that much of a difference. You know what I mean?
Well,
suit and tie, or
have a mustache for a while, for a long period of time.
Well, I think mustaches are allowed.
Yeah.
If they're, as long as they're neat. I mean, they've always been. Thurman Munson had a mustache. I mean, going way back.
Yeah.
As long as mustaches are kept neat, they're allowed. But they don't like long hair coming out underneath the cap, and no other facial hair. You know, no, nothing except the mustache. That's neat. That's it.
So they're not going to sign DeGrom when he comes up as a free agent.
Well, you know, if he gets offered mega bucks, he might cut his hair. You know, who knows?
Well, Harvey's clean cut. You can have him at this point.
Yeah, they were talking about that today. They couldn't get a bag of balls for him right now. You know?
Right.
People are calling up, trade him. What are you going to get for him? The guy's, you don't even know if he can pitch anymore, frankly. So let's see him do something first. Jeez. Because it's obvious after next year he's gone. Yeah. He's shown signs.
I hate for this whole thing to come out to be another Pulsifer, Isringhausen disappointment.
Well, look, those guys never did anything. These guys, you know, Harvey was great in the beginning, and Syndergaard, you know, is what he is. And Wheeler, we don't know yet. He could still be good. Those guys never did anything. Isringhausen at least did, you know, was good in relief with the Cardinals for a long time, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
But these, you know,
and with the A's a little bit as well.
But you know, they were talking about that today about Harvey. In his first 2 years, they scored either no runs or 1 run for him, like 50, I don't know how many times, 50 times or.
Wow.
Nobody ever had less support in their first 50 games in history than Matt Harvey. That's what they were saying.
Oh. Now that's a stat.
Well, now, if you remember, because I remember those games, the guy pitched his ass off, and it goes out losing 2-1, 1-0, so many times. Unbelievable.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, too, this is a different team, I will say.
Yeah.
Now, the big key, two big keys. How long is it going to take to get Syndergaard back, and how long is it going to take to get Cespedes back?
Well, Syndergaard, definitely not till after the All-Star break. Maybe even August. I don't know. Because whenever he's ready, he's still got to start the season over, go through rehab and all that stuff. Cespedes, it's going to be a long time as well. Because
what's going on with David Wright? Any of you know what's going on with him?
David Wright?
It's amazing. I think the whole year, Mert and I have talked about David Wright once or twice.
Yeah.
We have in our back of our heads, we are not depending on him ever again.
No, he's on the 60-day. Yeah.
Right.
He's on the 60-day DL.
We get something, but I doubt at this point.
He's most likely he's done.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And that's very sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anytime a player is cut down by injuries and, age is, you expect that. We all get older. But, and that brings us back to Mantle a little bit. You talk about injuries. God, did he have a lot of injuries when we were growing up.
Well, yeah. That first one was the killer, the knee injury out in the outfield when he stepped in the drain.
Did in the World Series, and the batter was Willie Mays. And he
Is that right?
High ball. Yeah, and DiMaggio kind of called him off at the last minute. It wasn't DiMaggio's fault. The drain was there, but it was horribly unfortunate. And Mantle was not a rehab kind of guy. And they didn't have the medical technique everything was invasive surgery. Nothing was arthroscopic. And they didn't have the rehab programs, and he certainly wasn't one that was going to adhere to it. He was a hard-living, fun, not hard-living, but a fun guy, just he didn't expect to ever live to be 40 years old. His uncles, his dad, Hodgkin's disease, and he lived like it.
He
I
did.
One of his great quote. He said, "If I knew I was going to live this long, I would have taken better care of myself."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Very true.
Anyway, thank you, gentlemen. I love talking New York City baseball with you guys. And if I can wish for anything over the next couple of weeks or the next season, no more injuries. We've been so set back as Met fans, and Yankees too. So, and all of baseball, it's become persuasive. What's the word?
Pervasive.
Marty will tell me he studied.
Pervasive.
Just go there to eat his lunch and have baseball pools with Seymour Myers.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen. We will be back next week. Everybody out there, keep on keeping on. It's New York City Baseball, Comfortably Zoned Radio Network. Thanks, guys.
Good night.
Night.
Good night, everybody.